There are documented cases of steroid users visibly aging 20, even 30 years in under 5 years of use. Read that again, under 5 years. Steroids don't just build muscle, they can rewrite a face, a hairline, a set of organs, adding what looks like decades almost overnight. It's one of the most extreme, visible cases of accelerated aging out there. But here's the part nobody talks about. You don't need a single steroid to do this to your own body. There are ordinary habits sitting quietly inside a completely normal week, doing the exact same thing to you right now, just slower, quieter, which is exactly why nobody notices until the mirror does. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which habits they are, what they're doing to your body, and what actually reverses each one. Steroids flood the body with hormone levels it was never built to handle. Fluid builds under the skin. Hair follicles shrink. The heart thickens and struggles to pump efficiently. That's not a lifestyle. That's chemical warfare on your own biology. Here's the uncomfortable twist. 5 completely legal, completely everyday habits create almost the same 5 effects. No injections required. Think about the last time you woke up and your face looked fuller than usual. Softer around the jaw, tighter under the eyes. That's not just a bad night's sleep talking. That's sodium. A takeaway curry, a tin of soup, a plate of deli meat at lunch. These often carry more salt in one sitting than your body needs for the entire day. Your body responds the same way every time. It holds on to water to dilute that sodium back down, and that water has to sit somewhere, usually your face. It's the same fluid retention mechanism that gives steroid users that swollen, rounded look, just working in miniature, meal by meal, week by week. Dermatologists have a name for this one: telogen effluvium. It's what happens when ongoing stress pushes hair follicles out of their growing phase and into an early rest, so they simply stop producing hair. Here's what makes it sneaky. The shedding doesn't show up the week you're stressed. It shows up 2 to 3 months later, which is exactly why most people never connect the dots. They blame their shampoo, their age, anything except the deadline, the worry, or the sleepless month that actually caused it. It's the everyday version of what steroids do to hair follicles through hormones. Different trigger, same result. If you had to guess what ages skin faster than anything else on this list, what would you say? Diet? Stress? It's the sun. Dermatology researchers studying close to 300 women found that sun exposure alone accounted for roughly 80% of the visible aging on their faces. Not genetics, not diet. The sun. Every unprotected afternoon in the garden. Every drive with the sun coming through the windscreen. It quietly breaks down the collagen holding your skin firm for years before it ever shows up as a wrinkle. Researchers at UC San Diego followed nearly 1,500 women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s and measured something you can't see in any mirror: their telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of your DNA that shorten as you age. The women who sat for more than 10 hours a day without at least 40 minutes of real movement had noticeably shorter telomeres than the women who moved regularly. Their cells, quite literally, were aging faster than their birth certificates said. Here's the encouraging part. The women who got just 30 minutes of movement a day didn't show that same damage, no matter how long they sat for the rest of it. 30 minutes, that's it? Your brain has its own overnight cleaning crew, first discovered by researchers at the University of Rochester. It's called the glymphatic system, and it has one job: flushing waste out of your brain, including the proteins linked to memory decline. Here's the catch: it runs nearly 10 times harder while you're asleep than while you're awake. Cut your sleep short, night after night, and that cleanup crew never finishes the job. It's part of why chronic short sleep has been linked to measurable decline in memory and focus over time. So think back to those documented cases. People visibly aging 20, 30 years in under 5. It's shocking because it's fast and visible, and it happened in the most extreme cases. But puffiness, thinning hair, sun damage, a chair, and a few missing hours of sleep are doing something similar to nearly everyone, one ordinary day at a time. The difference is, you don't need a doctor to reverse any of it. A glass of water instead of the extra salt, sunscreen before the garden, a short walk instead of another hour in the chair, an earlier night more often than not. None of that is complicated. It's just quiet enough that most people never get round to it. If this helped you look at your own habits differently, you know what to do next. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.